And we're live. Just testing the audio. Can you hear me? 1, 2. Hello, Jeff and Mr. MLW. Hello. So the whole point of this kind of live stream is because everybody's bored because nothing's happening in the world because it's all closed. And I'd assume that there are some questions about my YouTubing stuff. So, hello. So if anyone's got any questions about just about anything, whether it be guitar, music, or the videos that I've previously uploaded, or future videos that I'll be uploading, feel free to ask away. Bill Steer, yeah. If I had the career like Bill Steer, I'd be pretty happy. But yeah, I've heard that before. It's a little bit refreshing though from the usual Axl Rose thing. So anyone got any questions about anything? How's quarantine going for you guys? A very soothing voice. Okay. Thank you, I think. Will there be another audio audit? Right. Okay. So I'm working on one. It's probably going to be the darkest one yet. So I don't think it's the right time to release it. I'd prefer the world to get into a slightly better, happier place than it currently is before I release it. But yeah, there will be more. So there's one. I won't say who it's going to be on, but yes, there will be more. Do I like Devin Townsend? I like some of it. Sometimes it gets a bit too prog for me. You like videos? Yeah, the Glenn video. That's an interesting one. That was when I was starting out on it, and people want it back, but I don't want to put it back, and there's two main reasons. Firstly, it's outdated now because he took what I was saying and changed. And then secondly, if I did put it back, it would be solely for the purpose of views, which that's what I'm accused of anyway. I only do it for views. But if I uploaded that, then that's a valid argument. But yeah, so that won't be coming back. Do I like Kiss? Yes, Kiss are cool. How do you feel about the Rob? Oh, dissing playing. Right, that's an interesting one, right? Because the point in the Dovidas video, I think it's mentioned. I'd be okay if he was dissing my playing from current stuff, but he wasn't. He had to go to another channel that hadn't been active for 3 years at that point. He went after the oldest I was 17 playing. There were videos of me when I was 16 and 15 on there too. He had to go for that playing as opposed to the stuff that was already on the current channel. And he watched the review I did of those guitars, so he's seen my modern playing. Yeah, any major effects from the audits? Yes, Glenn Fricker. A good effect, like positive, because a lot of people view it as like you're being antagonistic. Well, yes, because I am. But the purpose is for changing. Dovey is here. Next episode's when? I don't know, because I want the world to be better, in a better, happier place before I hit the a dark episode. The Glenn video resulted in him changing and overall getting better content and like actually disclosing his stuff, which was the main criticism from that original video. So yes, good things have happened from the audits, and that's what I was expecting for the Chapman thing to happen, but it didn't. Hello from India. That's cool. Hi. Have you and Rob made up? Post his last apology video. His last apology video wasn't to me; it was to you. And here's some information, right? Maybe a week prior to that video coming up, I messaged him on Instagram. He followed me, so he would have got the notification. And I said something like, "Hey, I don't support the massive amount of people that are coming at you. That video was made as a small YouTuber. 223 subscribers was how big I was when I did that video." And his assistant responded and said, "Yeah, I'll pass this on to Rob. I'm sure he'll want to get back in touch with you." And he didn't. And then a week later, he puts up the apology video to say, "Sorry, I got caught." Hank Hill, thank you. It was unusual to go on a Shred collab, first time for me. But I enjoyed it. I'd like to do more. What do you think about George Lynch? George Lynch is the king. No matter how or what we play, there'll be people who don't. Oh yeah, people don't like most things. Like in guitar, anyway. You'll play too fast, or you play without any feel. It's a lot of crap. But guitar players are just terrible in general. Like people, I'm no better. But I'm going to any comment section on any video, and everyone's horrible. So it's wasn't there a Guitar World article about that, where everyone hates each other's playing? I'm having a problem with negative side of ribbon mics. I have no idea about mics. That's not really my specialty. Like I use off-brand Coleman mics to mic things up, so I have no idea about miking. So I'm sorry, I can't help. Yes, Chapman is not great. Top 3 influences: Paul Gilbert, Jason Becker, and probably Vi. Chapman signature guitar. Yeah. No, thank you. I sold, out of the 2 ML1s that I brought in the initial video when I held them up, I sold the black one, the original Chinese ML1. And then in my latest video, I put together like a parts caster, and I used the bridge and the tuners off the other Chapman. So it's just kind of parted out now. Yeah, musicians can be the worst. They are the worst. They're horrible. You can always tell. I remember there's a video, there's a DVD anyway of Jason Becker, and he's doing this live lesson thing. And he's talking about, you can always tell the guitar player in the room, and this is when like he was in his prime, and they always look like this, and they're always, and then he'll mess up, and then yeah, told you, can't play. So guitar players are terrible, and you can always tell them in a live situation too. What's your opinion on Scott Grove? He's a good country player. He kind of fell off YouTube for a while, didn't he? Yeah, he was around in the Tonewood Wars. I remember those. Yeah. How long have you been playing? Probably 10 or 11 years, I think. Oh, the Bernie Rico video. Yeah. I just did that because I couldn't find any information on that whole thing. How many guitars does it take to install a light bulb? Well, the light bulb doesn't get installed. They just talk on forums about which light bulb brand is better, and then, pay 8 grand for one, and then post pictures of it. New bulb day. What do you think of Guthrie? Oh, Guthrie's great. He's amazing. If I could play half as good as he could, as he can, I'd be very happy. What are your thoughts on Rabia Masad as a guitarist in Dorjan Tusk? Oh, Rabia is great too. I don't have any issues with him. He's a really, really good player, like amazing riffs. He designed the Victory Kraken as well, so like he's good. I have no issues with Bia at all. What's an uncommon piece of gear you own? Own or use? Well, I own an orange OR 120, which was from 1975, and a Hiwatt 50-watt head from the 70s too. The Hiwatt isn't in full working action just yet. The orange is. I'd like to do a video with that actually. And then modern, like, unusual gear would be my main-ish guitar, which is the Ormsby SX. So it's a multi-scale, and it's probably, well, I'm currently using a Jackson with a sustainer, which is the next video is going to be on, because the sustainer is so cool. But this is probably the most uncommon guitar, especially in this country anyway. Rabia is a tight guitarist. Good time. Yeah, he really is good. If you could go back in times and redo the Chapman stuff, would you change it? But like, I'd still do it, absolutely. No, because like he's never going to use his fan base against anyone ever again, and I don't have to police him because there's going to be a whole bunch of other people who are looking in case he does that again. So I just proved that what he's doing is not great. One to install, not two to complain they can do it better. Yeah. What's the oddest thing you listen to that no one would guess? Probably like George Benson stuff, like the 70s funk stuff. Even though I'm a hard rock / I suppose metal player, so it's probably the funk stuff that no one would think that I do. More audio audits. People deserve it. More people deserve audits. Yeah, see, the whole thing about transparency, right? I didn't know this until I did the initial audits, but guitar YouTubers all, like, most of them, like, everyone talks to each other, right? And when I did that video, because the video on Glenn was mainly about transparency on advertisements. This video is sponsored by or whatever. And when I did that video, I had like 100 subscribers. No, I didn't even have 100. I had like 50. And he saw it and he like left a comment on everything, and then he just changed his thing. But what I found were all the other YouTubers were very against it, even though like I was merely just pointing out that it's illegal if you if you actively don't disclose that you're being paid to do something. It's illegal, and for good reason, because where you or I maybe can tell, oh yeah, that's an ad. No kid is going to be able to do that. And if you've got a 12-year-old who thinks, oh, I have to get this amp or whatever to sound like this guy, it's not true, and that person's being paid to tell it. So I don't agree with that. I want to make it very clear, though, I'm fine with any ads or sponsors. I just don't like how when some people don't disclose it. That's all. Just disclose your stuff and it's fine. So yeah, there will be more audio audits. The next one is probably the biggest. So I'm a little bit worried about it, but I hope it goes okay. Is there any music YouTubers that don't suck? Yes. Loads. There's, well, everyone in this chat probably knows Dovidas. We've got who else do I watch? I watch Trogly's because his videos are fantastic. Like the amount of work he puts into them, they're great. I like Philip McKnight. I know that that's controversial, but for some, but I like him. Henning Pauly is probably the most honest YouTuber when it comes to gear. Like, even the guys who are paying him and sponsoring him, he'll really give a bad review if it's called for. So I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, the L-War 80s, and yeah, they get very hot. Like, you could cook dinner on it. So careful. Were they clipping the mic? Sure, it's for real. Yeah, they were. No one bought any, but I wasn't expecting anyone to buy it. It was merely like the whole laughing at, like, criticism for clipping the mic is, it makes sense, but you can have it's equally as bad to constantly clip the mic. So I just did the exact same thing as he did, just to prove a point. Hope yeah, that is my name spelled properly. Thank you. Just want to say, yeah, there was a lot of hate from the Chapman fans, but the thing was, right, when I did that video, I had 223 subscribers, right? Nothing. So I wasn't what I was expecting. And everyone was, what were you expecting? I was expecting the same reaction from Glenn Fricker. Probably a comment from Chapman, and then he'd just quietly take a look and say, okay, I need to adjust this, this, and this, because I was a fan. You know, we know that didn't happen. But at the time of all the threats, it was worrying and scary. But now after it, because I got a lot in a quick succession, now it's like, okay, what are you gonna do? Do you own an acoustic guitar? Yes. I don't play it much. If you Google my name, not the KDH thing, you'll find videos of me when I was like 16 or so, and I was doing all the acoustic percussive stuff for a time. How are you dealing with the lockdown situation? Well, Ireland's been officially locked down as of midnight last night, so it's no one's allowed out past 2 kilometers of their house. But it was kind of like that. They were just kind of asking people to do that for the last 2 weeks anyway. Now they've said it's like written into law, don't go out unless it's for shops, but that's kind of everywhere. It doesn't affect me too badly. I'd like to go outside, but you know, we're all kind of in this situation together. Yeah, the guitar YouTuber guitar community, it is a close knit group, and I'm not part of it. They have, like, I know for a fact that they have groups on whatever messaging groups, and they all talk about my videos. I know for a fact. I won't say any more about that, but they all know about my videos. The next one's bigger. It is bigger. Trogly is awesome. Yes, he is. Kevin O'Connor. Yeah. Just send me a message on Instagram. It's KDH Guitar TV. Oh, Simon the Magpie. Yeah, he's pretty cool too. He's more of a synth guy, but I've seen some of like the pedals from Samurai Guitar. Samurai Guitarist. He's another cool guy. Controversial videos. Yes, I have respect for Glenn. No one believed me when I said that, but yes, I do have a lot of respect for him. And actually, when the whole Chapman thing got very heated, he even contacted me to ask if I was okay. And that was before, it's so he is a much different person than Chapman is. Happy New Amp Day. Yeah, cool. Would you do an audio on Will's Easy Guitar? No, I do them on like people that I know of, or like because the audio audits take a lot of work. I can't pump them out really quickly. Every word in them is scripted, and that's another thing about the sunglasses. Why do I wear the sunglasses? For like 3 reasons. Firstly, reflection on normal glasses. It's annoying. But secondly, it kind of takes away the idea of me looking at you if I'm reading a script. If my head's down, so I kept my head straight, looking at the camera, but eyes on the screen on the laptop in front of me, reading the script. It didn't happen because he is full of himself, yes. That was one of the criticisms. Ego. Build one of the DIY kit guitars. I'm not great at building guitars. I built a guitar from scratch years ago, and it is unplayable. It reminds me of Jeff Kiesel from Kiesel Guitars said in one thing. He said, you need to figure out whether you prefer whether you like playing guitars or building guitars. You're never going to do both. And I think that's right. Leo Fender didn't know how to play. I can't build guitars. I can kind of modify them though. So the next video is about a modification that really changed the guitar. And in fact, I'll show it to you. So it's a new Floyd on this Jackson Dinky. So it's like a super upgraded Floyd with a tram stopper and all the brass and everything. So that's the next video. That should be done within like 2 days. Uh, 2 weeks. Yeah, you've been through lockdown, 2 more to go. It'll probably be more lockdowns. Like it'll every government's saying 2 weeks, and then it'll likely add up to 6 weeks probably in total. They're just not saying that fully to avoid panic. So don't panic, just go with it. That pedal show, yeah, that pedal show is fantastic too. Yeah, the whole Victory amps thing, I don't know how close. I don't think they're too closely linked. to Chapman or anything, because like he uses Bad Cat and everything else. If they were really closely knit together, I think he'd be fairly exclusive. They're good though, so I don't I don't have any issues with them. I have two Krakens for a wet dry setup, which I think I'll do a video on, maybe. Although, yeah, I will do a video on them actually. I can do it now. None of the Andertons videos have Rob in them. He took a break from them. He's gone back, I think. Although he's in Malta now, and he's probably stuck for the next month or two while this whole lockdown happens worldwide. Yeah, when audio audits are generally people that you don't expect. That's the whole thing. When it's been done and done to death, I'd rather not make a video that's been made 1,000 times. It's I know a lot of people hop on it for no reason other than just to get the views. And that's of course what I've been accused of countless times, but I I'm not doing it for that. 60 cycle hum. It's not Ola. Couldn't be Ola. Ola's too cool. He could do better with disclosing advertisements, but nah. He doesn't do anything as far as I'm concerned of that requires any video or anything. Circle of Tone, who's a boomer. He's a self-confessed boomer, isn't he? Yeah, Paul Reed Smith, I have seen him play. He plays good, but guitar builders in general are not known for guitar skill. They're known for making great guitars. And that's probably because great guitar players spend all their time making or playing guitars. Great guitar builders spend their time making them. Have you ever played a Marshall? My band's album that's half recorded and the other half won't be recorded for a while because the world's closed, was all done on two Marshall JCM 800s through Mesa cabs. So it's I was on a dual channel from 1986 or 1987 or something, and Glenn, the other guitar player and singer, he was on a single channel from 1990, I think. Friedman's I haven't played, but by all accounts I've heard they're amazing, so I'd like to. They're just very rare here. Like I've never seen one in person ever. Mark Agnesi. Mark Agnesi, I'm sure, was thanking me because I took the spotlight off him. Chapman did a bigger play authentic with his My Truth than Agnesi ever did. But yes, Gibson are really, I'm not a fan of any of their business practices. Passion, interests other than videos, guitar. No. Like playing guitar, playing in a band is my favorite thing, I think. It's a lot of fun. So no, I don't really have any other options of what to do. Victory shares the same registry office in Woking as Andertons and Chapman, though. Yeah, but that's the same accountant. Like I should share the same accountant as quite a few big musicians. It doesn't mean I'm the same as Bono. Let's do a victory vid. Yeah, there's not that many victory vids out there. I think there should be more because they're really compact, and when you're gigging and you want something small. Like I was bringing like you can see that massive Marshall head and this tiny victory head. The victory weighs considerably less. You can strap it over your shoulder and bring it to a gig and have a real amp. Oh, 60 cycle home. If you aren't doing it for views, uh, are you going to go after a small channels? Uh, it's the moral dilemma of how small. I won't go after anybody who's smaller than me. That isn't right. I won't do that. I'm only going after the bigger ones because no one is, because they're all afraid to do it. So going after the little guy, unless someone's done something, like that's the whole point. If you're doing things, I'm not pumping them out for fun. Although I actually do enjoy making them, but like I enjoy making all videos. But point is, I won't make a video just for the sake of making a video. Hence why my upload schedule is terrible. It's better now because there's nothing else to do, but I'm not going to be uploading audio audits at a huge frequency. Content cop of Guitar Gear. That was the point. Everyone, you're copying iDubbbz. Yeah, it was a tribute anyway, and no one got the Nerd City tribute at the end either. Nerd City's great too. I should explain this video by never more visuals is the only video of its kind and why it's well. I'd have to. I don't know anything about it, so I might take a look. But for the most part, I'm going against. I really don't want to hop on a trend. If someone else has done the video, if I can't add anything, which I highly doubt I would be able to, I'm not going to do it. Gibson. I think I want to do a video on Gibson, and it's going to be from a different point of view than everyone else. I know it's been talked about like a lot. No one likes Gibson, so it's not going to be that fresh, but it's going to be a different perspective or a different point of view that I'd like to go in on in detail. Yeah, that's the thing. Every video on when people say you did it only for views, that's kind of like any Louis Theroux documentary. Oh, he did one on Jimmy Savile. No, just bypass any of the facts. He only did it for views, guys. Ignore it. It's the same thing. So yes, every video that's ever been put on YouTube has been done for views. Every piece of music that anyone's ever written and released has been done in the hopes that people will listen to it. But it's not the only reason. What do you think about Gibson going after Jeff Keighley? That's going to be part of the video that I'm going to make. Again, no time schedule on these videos. I'll make them and edit them and script them and then remake them when I'm not happy with them. So no time schedule. But yes, I want to make a video on Gibson in depth with some theories that I think would be interesting. Yeah, if you can't fight any of the facts that are presented, just try and ignore it all with some lame attempt. Paul He's a huge. I don't know who Paul is. I only mentioned Paul Reed Smith. The guitars are good. I don't know anything about him personally, but the guitars I've played are good. I also mentioned Paul Gilbert. I've met Paul Gilbert. He's very nice. So I don't know who you're talking about. Any VSTs? I don't do any digital stuff. That's very boomer of me, isn't it? But no, I've never tried it. I don't like when I've never used any plugins or anything. To be honest, I don't know how. I'm very new to the whole home recording stuff. I'm learning everything as I go. So, do you listen to any Michael Land? No, I've never listened to him. Well, thank you for tuning into the live stream. It's fun. I like this. I have 40 something Gibsons. Yeah, Gibson were good. Of course they were. It's just now, are they? Particular Fender as Gibson's most obvious. Yes, there's shady stuff. Fender were done for price fixing in the UK a little while ago. No one was talking about it because they were all talking about the Chapman stuff. Funny enough, but yeah, they did something, but I don't think they're no way as bad as Gibson. There's a difference there, I think, as far as business ethos goes. Fender seemed to care at least somewhat about the player. Although remember a few years ago when they were talking about the 50% of guitar players are female. They're not. But we've made this groundbreaking. It was like a survey that they particularly picked 50% women, 50% men, and that's the only thing that they got out of it that was publishable, was that shockingly 50% were women. I'm gonna play my new amp. Hey, enjoy your amp. Amps are fun. I can't play amps now because of lockdown. Everybody's at home, which means no loud amps during the evening because you've got neighbors. The thing about doing it for views is doing it right, not like the Circle of Tone lol. With clickbait. That was another thing, right? Clickbait is it seems people have wild different definitions of it. I would call clickbait something that isn't in the video, like if I did a video titled I've spent 10 grand on guitars and then I went and bought, a 200 euro one, that would be clickbait. It's not, it's just lying in the video or in the video title. Yeah, this is my first stream. I'm enjoying it. I think I might do it regularly. It's fun, especially during this time. It's pretty bad. What's your history with video production? Nothing. It's iMovie and a camera. It's just me watching a lot of YouTube. Like I don't really watch TV. I watch YouTube, so I just kind of wanted to try it myself. No, I meant PRS. Great product, but a dick. I have heard some stories, but I've also heard like things to the contrary, like people saying that he's great. So I don't know. I'm not gonna judge him until I see some hard evidence. I'll only judge him on his guitars anyway. They're good. Guitarist I gigged with is Ron Thal. Oh, Ron Thal's great. He did he knows of my band, put it that way. He's cool. That's a taste thing. VSTs and stuff. Space and money for getting real amps. More power to you. I genuinely just haven't tried them. I don't know how to work them. I'm not very tech savvy. Who would you like to go on tour with? Oh, supporting. Who would I want to support? Well, the ultimate goal would be to support Guns N' Roses, but you know, that's kind of everybody's dream, isn't it? I just want to play. Oh, I really just want to play live. It's all the gigs were cancelled. We had I don't know if it has been cancelled yet officially, but it probably will be. Unfortunately, it's the biggest rock and metal festival in Ireland was Sunstroke Festival, and Faith No More were headlining, and we were set to open up on the second day of it, and it was going to be so good. It was going to be the biggest show we had ever played. And now it's looking like it's probably going to be cancelled because of this whole thing, unfortunately. Do you play anything other than guitar? I play bass when I have to for like demos, but I'm not a bass player by any means. So I play guitar. I can do a 4/4 straight beat on a drum kit though. I have a Helix LT and a Mesa twin reverb. Honestly, I end up using the Helix. Yeah, the Helix sounds really good. The thing is, I think when gigging, for me anyway, because you're not playing massive venues, so if you're playing like clubs, you need some stage volume, especially when the other guys are using amps. So for me, I think that the Victory was the best option because it's small, portable, liftable, um, and you can still plug into a cab. But I think although you could probably get like a Seymour Duncan Power Stage or something, a little small solid state preamp for the Helix, that would be a fun thing to do. I would enjoy trying to do that. But I kind of worry about um, digital gear because of the percentage of failure in a live situation. I know it's highly unlikely, but when it does, it's kind of like your phone breaking. It's not just replacing a valve. Um, would you rather fight a moose-sized tiger or a tiger-sized moose? Tiger-sized tiger-sized a tiger-sized moose, or is that mouse? And I can't read. I'm dyslexic. If it's a tiger-sized mouse, I'll fight whatever tiger-sized animal you're going for. I'm not fighting a tiger. Uh, you have to understand that Gibson is a mature product line, a 130-year-old company that is run by bean counters. These days, there are fantastic guitars for so much less. Oh yeah, absolutely. But okay, I'm gonna have to do my video on them because it'll be interesting. I wish Fender would bring back Ovation. Yeah, Ovation, they were cool. I played one once. It's weird though, because the plastic back, it didn't feel like an acoustic. Although I think that was the point. Um, yeah, my band is called Walker. So if you typed in Walker Time to Party, that's probably the biggest song we had or have out. You'll find it on YouTube. So Walker Time to Party or Walker Dreaming of You or stuff like that. It's like the 80s hard rock style or just hard rock style, I guess. Um Ever hear Sean Lane? Paul Gilbert called him terrifying because he was amazing. He was part of the Mike Varney's Shrapnel stuff. Yeah, all the Shrapnel players were amazing. Gigs and planned in Dublin later in the year. They're all up in the air at the moment, so I don't think there's any point in if you just find Walker, you'll see everything, or Walker Band, because probably the easiest way to find us. Have you ever played in America? No, but I'd love to, because the music that I play is like we sell more CDs to America than anywhere else in the world. So I really want to play in America. It's just getting there. Like you need to have a support lined up, and it's just hard to do it because you contacting managers and everything, and then it comes into money, and it gets difficult. Yes, this is not a good time for music. It's not a good time for anyone, really. Anybody in the entertainment industry is now jobless. Um, you have a Behringer interface, right? Which one? Right. Well, right now to do this, it's the Euphoria UMC 22. It's just a one channel input thing, so it's not great. It's not great for things. So I'm actually currently going into a Behringer Xenex 1002, I think. Because I actually wanted to do like live Skype call-ins if you had questions. Would you be up to doing that maybe? But maybe not now, because I think the chat's kind of kicking off, but I'd like to do like a live call-in thing. I think that would be cool to do. Opening for big bands can be a pain. Oh yeah, I'm sure it can be, because you have to obey by all their rules. Glitter Oven Victory model is next on my list. Yeah, the Victory. I've only tried the Kraken, but I think it's the highest powered valve amp that is transportable for me anyway. I think that's why they're good. Faith No More, yeah. What's the name of my band? It's Walker. So if you type in Walker Band or Walker Time to Party is probably the easiest way to find us on YouTube, and then all the links are in the description for the Facebook stuff, Instagram. Yeah. So the interface is it's fine. By the way, when you pull the RCAA vid, I messaged you on Facebook to ask if you'd re-upload it, and you understandably immediately. I don't think I blocked you. There's no way I blocked you. Surely not. You're definitely not blocked. I don't think I blocked anyone. There were too many people to block, so there was no way I blocked you. But I'll have a look and see. Did you message me? Message me on Facebook. Okay, well I'll check and see what's up there. I don't think you are. I don't think I blocked anyone. Fender stopped making Ovation guitars because no one was buying them. Yeah. Well, it was a different design. Like you're never gonna get it's the same type of people who just buy Les Pauls and Strats and think that if you plug into anything but a Marshall, it's sacrilege. They weren't gonna buy those either. They'd buy a Martin and that would be it. Ever listen to Santa Cruz? Yeah. Santa Cruz are fantastic. They were real influences. Shred Till You Drop is probably the best video ever. Brad Hall, Tone Gun. No, I've never seen him. I'll have a look. Fender, Heavy Metal Strat, or Charvel. Hands down, Charvel. Don't go near the new Fender Heavy Metal Strat. Don't do it to yourself. And the reason why is because it's not widely publicized, but for the price, which is like what is it? It's like 800, 900 of whatever currency you've got. They're using a Floyd. It's a Floyd Rose Special, which is the cheapest Floyd you can get, and it's just it's not one of those ones that stay in tune too great. So, and I've played the Charvel, the new Charvel, uh, dinky style ones, and I very much enjoyed them. So I'd go for the Charvel, but play them if you can. That's always the thing. Whatever fits with you. Uh, oh yes. Hang on, I'll show you. I'll show you if I can reach it. Okay, so this is the TriStar, I call it, it's affectionately known as. So it's a Warmoth baked maple neck. Like this is at this point it's like 5.5 years old. So I was doing baked maple before it was cool, or roasted maple, depends on where you're from. So it's a poplar body, Seymour Duncan's, and it's done in like the Irish flag colors just to stand out on stage. So it became, you're the guy with the Irish flag color guitar. That was the point. Okay. Yeah. Richard Harold. I'll look into that. You shouldn't be blocked. I don't think I blocked anyone, so I'll have a look. Sorry about that, but I don't remember blocking anybody. Heavy Metal Strat is a gimmick and an expensive one at that. Yeah, I was seeing on Reverb. You could buy the original Heavy Metal Strat for cheaper than the new ones. So, like, I don't get me wrong. I like the idea of the Heavy Metal Strat. I think it looks cool. It's just it doesn't seem like with its competition. I'd never go for it. I'd go for a Jackson or a Charvel any day of the week. Yeah, the Heavy Metal Strat. It's not something I'd go for. Yeah, Friedman amps. They're. I've never tried one. That's the only thing I'd be worried about. But I think that like the Runt is a pretty cool amp from what I've heard. Again, never tried one, never seen one. Yeah, India has the same colors. Also, it's the Irish one is green, white, and orange. Orange, white, and green is the Ivory Coast. So if you flip the color is upside down or the flag upside down, you get a different country. Well, that guitar I didn't make it. I just bought the parts. The body was made by a luthier in Ireland, and he painted it and everything. So, I'm not a guitar builder. I'm not good at it. Do I secretly love Britney Spears? No, I don't. Oops, I did it again. No, it would be all the 70s funk, like Chic, that sort of stuff. George Benson, Earth, Wind and Fire. Don't tell anyone. Yeah, the 80s and 90s nostalgia for guitars is big right now. I'm not going to complain though, because I think that was the best era. Although everyone's saying it, and it's true, being a guitar player now is better than it probably ever has been, because you can get really great guitars. And I'm truthfully very excited for in 50 years the second-hand market, because it'll be totally different issues when you're looking for a guitar, because everything will have stainless steel frets, so there'll be no fret wear or anything like that. So it'll be I'm looking forward to it, and like the necks will have carbon fiber in it and everything, so it won't be like shopping now. Don't worry about Facebook. And Ovation would be cool to have back, but I probably wouldn't go anywhere near them. Didn't Yngwie Malmsteen have like a signature Ovation? I'm pretty sure, with scalloped frets. No, it didn't have scalloped frets, but he had one. The 5150 EVH. Yes, the if you listen to my band's first ever single, which was Walker Time to Party, it's like the way it is, it's me in left and right, and then Glenn, the other guitar player, down the middle. That's kind of what we've done for everything, and it sounds massive. But that song was done with the EVH, I think. Yeah, my guitar parts were done with an EVH, and I think Glenn was on a Marshall. What band made you want to play guitar? It wasn't a band. It was the School of Rock movie with Jack Black, because it was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. Mr. Schneebly. Uh, at the time, so I was 9, and I saw he had the V, the Gibson. It was like a white or like the cream yellowy V, and I thought that was the coolest guitar ever. Uh, Chic. Chic was great. Nile Rodgers. Nile Rodgers is the king of not overplaying on a song. My guilty pleasure is ABBA. Malmsteen did a great cover of an ABBA song. That's about as much ABBA as I can go personally. Bernard Edwards was amazing. Yeah, bass lines. Secondhand marketing. Ever tunes for dirt cheap in 2060? Probably, yeah. Because there'll be some new thing. Like as guitars go, like the Strat was like those memes where it's like a phone in 1950, 1960, 1970, 1980, and it like transfers, but a Strat's the same throughout. That bugs me. Like I don't see why Fender keep releasing the same guitar. Just release and then wait a year or two and then release something cool, a little bit extra. Do like, as much as I don't like Gibson had it right in the sense of here's your traditional vintage lineup, and it's going to be from the 50s and 60s. And then do a modern version. Like Fender, imagine if Fender, a modern Fender, not like the current Ultras, but like actually modern. Oh, going there, Joe, on Gibson. Youch. I played oboe. It was totally uncool. Switched guitar in 1968. Wow, that's a long time ago. Earlier on, you made passing mention of Bono. What's your verdict on U2? I quite like them. Another guilty pleasure for me is Cool Again. I don't know about them, but I'm not a U2 guy personally. It's just I don't think anybody in Ireland really likes them. It is what they use Charvel for now, but even then, Charvel are kind of targeting the 80s aesthetic anyway. If you had like a Strat with a pickguard, that was actually modern. That would be, because Charvel are not touching the pickguard stuff. Name a really good song on YouTube you think no one else has heard. Do you know what's great? Um, it's a mashup of Run to You and Enter Sandman. So it's Bryan Adams and Metallica mashup, and it's probably the best thing on YouTube right now. It's amazing. So, any questions? I'm genuinely surprised that I haven't got any. Oh yes, Charvel are doing the pickguard thing. Yeah, but it would be cool to see Fender do it too, even just to touch on it, you know, because it is a different brand. Charvel are doing pickguards. Yeah. So isn't Jackson also owned by Fender? Strikes me that they had a lot of competition to produce across brands. Yeah, Fender owns Jackson, Charvel, Fender itself, Gretsch, and then they don't own, but they produce EVH stuff as well. So they cover a lot of bases when it comes to guitars in general. Yes, I was surprised that I haven't got anyone, you know, any of the original Chappers gang in to tell me to die or something. So we've been doing this an hour. If anyone has any other questions, yeah, it is like a conversation. It's a small group of people, because like when you watch like the Philip McKnight streams, I don't know how he does it because he's got like 500 people in the chat constantly throughout the entire video, and it's just the chat's going like that. I can't read any of it. Original Chapman. OCG. Stay alert just in case. Oh. Yeah, it was an interesting month or so after that video. It got way bigger than it was ever supposed to be. What's the worst guitar you have ever played? Well, the worst guitar I've ever played would be a Squier starter pack. The action was like that high off the fretboard. It was terrible. But like now modern day guitars, a lot of them will be very good. Like they'll be way better than the older budget guitars. Like any Yamaha Pacifica or anything like that is gonna be good. It's gonna be decent. You could absolutely do a show on any of them because they'll generally stay in tune. So I'm happy about that. Like when it comes to quality now, you're looking at frets and you're looking at finish. It's unusual to find a guitar that will go out of tune dramatically. You'll still find them, unfortunately, but most of it is going to be finish flaws and fretwork issues. McKnight focuses on paid question. Yeah, I suppose that's how he has to, because there's that many of them. If you like weird mashups, make sure to check out Mill. Oh yeah, I have seen some of Bill's work. Mashups are just it's a fun little thing to listen to. Back up a few posts. Pentatonic variation. Three notes per string or pentatonic variations. Both. I don't really know what I play. I would assume that I do. Is it Mixolydian? stuff a lot. I hang on. So like my standard go-to is like that's the shred bit that I always play. I also do like a 3 note per string. Sorry, I can't play. I haven't warmed up, but and then you mix it in with like the Paul Gilbert. Now that's just me shredding as well. I don't do that in any songs. That's only for like you'll see me do that in demos and stuff for the shred part. I've never done a song like that. All the solos that I do are like playing with the song, and I think that's what feel is, as opposed to just doing the whole so much emotion in one note. I think that's a whole load of crap. I think if you can play a melody, and if it happens to be a fast melody, then so be it. But I just went off on a rant on that. But yeah, I don't really know the technical terms for what I'm playing. I just know that it's time to write a video for the mic stand. Was that planned? No, it wasn't, and we broke the mic. But we kept it in. And then when the drummer like did the drummer break a stick or no, he dropped a stick. That was I thought it was funny because it was. Sturdy, well made safe. Yeah, Pacificas are great too. They're probably if you're going for any beginner guitar, I'd recommend Pacifica from personal experience. Although my first guitar, I don't have it. It's in a case over there. My first guitar, I got really lucky because it was a Washburn X Series starter pack, and it had like Grover tuners and everything on it, and it was like 160 euro with a little practice amp, and it was the best. Like I played it for years. It's great. Are the Ibanez Geos any good? And for mods, especially for learning? Um, honestly, I don't know. I've never played one. Ibanez seem to be pretty good. Like in most cases, I've seen a little like some issues with fretwork on certain things, but overall, you're pretty safe. But then like check reviews. Like if you can check a lot of reviews, you'll find that the Geos may or may not suit your needs. If you're modding something, maybe go second hand because I'm sure for the price of a new Geo, you could get something probably a little bit better or something that needs some work second hand. Harmonic minor, isn't that's the Yngwie sound? I don't know. I never play any of that. I'd like to, I just don't know how. So I actually kind of want to learn that. So yeah. Yeah, I don't look at the fretboard and see well, I do look at the fretboard and see patterns. Just I don't know what the patterns are called. Now I script out my solos. Yeah, I write my solos for songs, but for videos for like demos and stuff, I don't because nothing is accompanied. If it was accompanied by any chording, I'd write the solo. But favorite guitar solo at the moment, mine is Anastasia by Slash. Favorite guitar solo. Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know. Um, I'm just trying to think, and it's gonna sound really egotistical, but I'm drawing a blank except for any of the solos that I've written, and that's uh, only because I've been practicing. I'd say probably. I don't even know. I'm sorry. Uh, Ever played a Japanese lawsuit type guitar? I don't need to read the rest of the comment. Look. 70s Ibanez, Les Paul, custom bolt-on. This was my dad's guitar that he had when he was like a teenager with a broken string. And I need to put more strings on it, but I'm hesitant to do it at the moment in case I break any strings on the main guitar, because I have 3 packs of strings, 2 packs are 11s, 1 pack of 10s, and the country's on lockdown probably for the next 6 weeks. So that one's gonna stay broken for a while. I've also played a Bernie Les Paul. So, but that was Chinese Bernie. Good to see you up and running. Cheers from Alberta, Canada. Hi, Rich. Canada. It's probably what time? It's probably morning time. I don't know, but good to have you here. You realize theory becomes useless when you try to take notes from your drummer. Being like, "Oh, do the widdly widdly woo instead of the widdly wee." Yeah, that happens too. Whenever we're trying to figure out an ending or something. No, do the da 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 da. No, not the da 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 da. It takes a while. I used to play by ear, but it started to hurt too much. Chord tones. I spent a fair amount of time in Nashville. Yeah. Well, we're Ireland's music scene is not a music scene, as much as that impacts tourism. But no, it's not. Like, to put this in perspective, right? I play rock. There is in Dublin City, which is the capital of Ireland. It's got the greater Dublin area is like half the population of Ireland anyway. There's one rock bar, so that's one rock venue. So it's hard to get gigs even because you have to compete against everyone else. So there's only however many weekends. We've got one venue and 40, 50, 60 bands. It's a tough one here, unfortunately. Marty Friedman at the end of Marty Freebird. Freebird? Freebird! Freebird's a great solo. There we go. Rabia does some very good solos too. Does my dad dig my playing? My dad has supported all of my playing. Very, very thankful for that. Do you like older 80s made in Korea Kramer guitars? I've never played one. I've actually never played a Kramer. Like I like how they look. You know, like the Kramer strap body is like it's weird. It reminds me of Cinderella, not the princess, the band. But I've never played one. Do you name all your guitars? I used to name all my guitars, but I've got way too many to name. So I don't name them anymore. It's just the Rhodes or the Ormsby now. Same time. Yeah, it's 8:44 here. in the evening. Dublin's got fibbers, but the Grand Social. Oh, so you're Irish, are you? Dublin's got fibbers. Yes, that is what I'm referring to. The Grand Social are starting to branch out into heavier stuff. Grand Social, that was the biggest show, or the biggest like co-headline show that I did, was in the Grand Social. That was fun, but the problem is like the curfew times. So you play at you start at not you like you we started at 9 and we had to finish at, what was it? We had to be off and out, like unload all the gear by 10:30 for them to let in student discos, and it was terrible. It doesn't make sense. For me, it doesn't make sense to do that, because if you've got a crowd in and they all have drinks, would it not make sense to let them hang around for half an hour after a show, or even longer, and then let them all continue to drink, instead of ushering all of them out and getting like the early side of a disco thing in, which is like maybe 10 people. It didn't make sense for me to see what that happened in the Grand Social. Um, yes. Oh yeah, before the lockdown, I remember what live gigs were like. Is that a Warwick Fretless? Yes, it is. Um, it's a Corvette uh, from like I don't know what year it is. I got it secondhand for a very good deal. Um, yeah, we're on British Standard Time because we're in the same area. Uh, do a state of the collection video, story behind each instrument you own. Uh, maybe. I've got loads of video ideas. I'm gonna do a controversial one, because actually, even saying that, null and voids any of them, because all the videos I do nearly are controversial. The next one that you see will be done in like 2 days. It's going to be the Jackson Floyd upgrade thing. Uh, but after that, I think is going to be another. It's going to be a funny, controversial one, but it'll still annoy people. Um, what's the red guitar on your wall? Yeah, that's the Jackson. It's a Jackson Dinky Sustainiac, and the Sustainiac was broken. One of the wires from the battery box had unsoldered or broken off, so I soldered that back on midway through um, the upgrade, because I found the problem. And playing with a sustainer is so fun. So there's some of that in the video that you'll see. It's 2:15 in the morning for you. Wow. Cinderella. That's filling in the 80s for you. How do you know? I know all the 80s bands because that's all I listen to. It's every band. Dokken, Wasp, Warrant, Winger, all of it. Are you familiar with Sean Tubbs? No, I'm not. It's 1:45 for Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. Uh, any Irish musician needing to make it big usually hops over to the mainland UK, Liverpool, Manchester, or London. They do, but it's probably easier in America for the reasons of uh, you have well, for the music that we're playing, it's easier in America. We sell more music to America than anywhere else in the world. It's just, how do you get there is the real question. Uh, yeah, I don't know what they're doing in the Grand Social now. Uh, I played there last year, and that was what happened then. Um, Also, my first strat is called Brittany. Uh, I once said that I'm going. Oh dear. Oh dear, Joe. Uh, So, what other guitars do I even have that I... Did anyone watch the Fender into a Super Strat video? Strat into Super Strat? That was fun to do. It was the first. My favorite video of 2019 was your video of Chappers. Glad he listened and seems to be a little bit more humble now. Thank you for that video. Do you know what's interesting is his latest video, while it clickbaits, is basically a 4-minute video going, Chapman Guitars have finally got quality control now. I'll hold my hand up for being responsible for that. It's weird. Yeah, time zones are very much weird. Do you like the whammy pedals? I use them for... I have a TC Electronic Nova system, so that has the ability with an expression pedal to have like a whammy effect. But for me, I think the best use of a whammy pedal ever was Ron Thal's solo, or it wasn't even Ron Thal in the recording, it was Buckethead, wasn't it? For Chinese Democracy, Guns N' Roses. It was like the... And then... It was the simplest thing. But it just sounded so good. His apology didn't address any of the issues. He's just sorry he got caught. Yes. And most of the videos since are the same deliberately vague clickbait titles. Yes, because you have to clickbait when your channel is dying. Now there's a good song title, clickbait. What's your take on the success of Polyphia? I don't personally like the music, but I can understand why they're successful. Because they're in with that whole... I can appreciate just how amazing they are, because they are really, really good. It's just not my cup of tea. I like songs. Like, I could write a guitar thing, but I prefer songs to listen to anyway. But yeah, I can appreciate just how amazing they are, and I can understand why they're successful. I kind of like their characters, because people don't get that it's a character. It's kind of like me putting on those sunglasses. People don't get that the character that they put on is to annoy people, and they do it so well. So I can appreciate that too. That's probably my favorite part about them. What's the most you have spent on a guitar? Including tax and shipping, was probably the Ormsby. But it was worth it. It was... See, if I was buying it now, which would it even get delivered? But if I was buying now, it would be like 200 cheaper, because the Australian dollar has dropped dramatically because of all this. But there's going to be a global recession after it all, anyway. So, but he moved forward. When you're guilty, you're guilty. Yeah, he moved forward. Like, I don't care anymore. I'm just doing this live stream to answer any questions that people had, because there was obviously questions that people have. Steve Vai, yes or no? Yes. Yes. What do you think about the Rings of Saturn fake? Okay, that's an interesting question, right? Because I was watching the stuff that was presented, and I think both sides are guilty, right? So part of the reason that I don't jump on trends like I was asked to, there's someone's been exposed or whatever, do a video on them. It's because I can't. Firstly, I can't add anything to the conversation really, and secondly, all the audio audits are really they're scripted. Every word is scripted, like down to a T, just in case. So I can't say anything that I will regret. Um, and that takes a lot of time. Like it takes like 3-4 full days to write the script for like a 36-minute video. You're writing every word. It takes a long time. And Jared Dines hopped on a trend. Other people had done better videos, and he hopped on it because, oh yeah, instant views, and that's the whole Chapman thing too. How many channels hopped on it after I did it, right? Most of them not contributing anything. Like the smaller channels, like the guys with 100, 200, 300 subs, they were having a field day because they'd get 1,000 or 2,000 views, and they were loving every second of it, and they weren't contributing anything. Like out of two channels who were heavy in the mix were doing videos. Their first videos were, I didn't actually watch this audio audit, but what? So I won't hop on any trends really. And I think Jared Dines made a mistake on doing that. But that's not to say Lucas Mann wasn't guilty in some way. He was called out for fake playing from a video that he uploaded, which in his defense, well, the defense that he presented was, well, there was a monitor showing, there was a monitor facing the camera, and that was the monitor with all the backing track in it. So you were just hearing backing track. Well, then don't use it as advertisement for your live shows then. Like, so he can be criticized for what he did. It's just Dines didn't do it in the right way. But he kind of made up for it, didn't he? Mainly. Vaya's awesome, and Satch. Yes, Satch is cool. Vaya's awesome. They're great. Have you got a semi-hollow? One of the favorite things in the world is attention. I've got the closest thing to a semi-hollow I have is this Jackson Dominion, because you can hear that. It's hollow, all here and here, but it's, I don't know. It's pretty much just like a chambered Les Paul. If you could have one guitar any model or any year, what would you choose? A 59 Les Paul so I could sell it. You said you can understand Polyphy's success despite not liking them, but what band you absolutely cannot understand being successful? I can kind of understand most. Like, if it's not musically, you can absolutely understand the business sense behind it. So I can understand why people like Polyphius playing, because then it's, of course, it's a reason to, because they're liked by guitar players. Right? No one else likes it. Any pop song is like, I can understand the market reasoning and the push that certain pop stars get, and that's why they're big. So I can understand, even if I don't like them, I can understand why they're all big, even if they aren't any good. channel is called Music is Win, which is the stupidest. Oh, are you part of the Reddit group, what Guitar Circle Jerk, where they just go off on Music is Win? I feel sorry for him because of that. Like they you can kind of laugh at some of the things that he does, but he doesn't deserve that much hate like that they give him. And that's coming from me. Is the Joyo Zombie plus the Harley Benton Cab any good, or just a lot of publicity from YouTube? Oh, have you seen have you seen the audio audit on Glenn Fricker? No. Okay, so the Harley Benton Cab seems like it probably is the best deal that you can get, right? Just know that when everyone talks about Celestians, it's not because they're Chinese Celestian vintage 30s. They're not the British vintage 30s that you get in a Marshall, but then again, you're talking about a substantially higher price. So yes, I think the cab is probably very good. The Joyo Zombie, I don't know. I've heard some bad audio clips and I've heard some good audio clips. The thing is, I've said it in a couple of demo videos. To judge gear based on YouTube audio is such a silly thing to do, really, unless like it's the person saying this is bad and here's why. But then again, if they're being paid by the person, then especially when they're not disclosing it, then you have to kind of question that. You have to think about that as well. How do you trust that person? Do they have a history of being paid and then saying, well, it's not great in these aspects? You know, that's what I think when it comes to those things. When doing demos, right? It depends on what the speaker is, how far the microwave is from the speaker, where it's mic'd up on the speaker, what mic is it, you know, how long is the cable to the interface, what's the interface, what software are they running, are they doing any post-processing? When they upload it to YouTube, it's going to compress anyway. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that really kind of null and voids the entire gear YouTube gear demo industry, and that's probably why they don't like me saying that. But yeah, you know, has to be said. Music's Win seems like a totally nice guy. His wife Maurice life beyond YouTube seems like he's trying his best to make. Yeah, like it's like just about everybody can be criticized, myself included. I'm absolutely expecting a KDH exposed video. It's just probably gonna be terrible. But if it is valid, fair enough. It likely won't be at the moment anyway. As I probably do more videos, there'll probably be things to criticize. But at the moment, yeah. But Music is Win can be criticized for certain things too. It's just he gets a lot of hate for I don't think he deserves the amount of hate that he gets, to be honest. Like, that's just me. Given the number of guitarists running stereo wet dry rigs, why does nobody play stereo guitars like the which split two pickup signals to a dual output? Because it's hard to wire, and plus equally, if you're doing the whole split guitar thing, you have to think about phasing and everything. If you're running 2 amps anyway, you're gonna need a ABY to split the phase, but it'll split the phase after one input. Like you'd have to get something special, as far as I know, to split the phase as it comes in. So, although maybe you'd have to have like a coil tap to change the phase on the pickups. I don't know too much about wiring, but I know that running 2 amps is complicated enough because I do it. Like Billy Sheehan does like the 2 pickups, 2 amps kind of thing, which is cool, but it just seems like it also limits yourself in a live situation where you can only bring 1 amp. Are you only going to get 1 pickup, you know? So it seems to me like the more practical option is to have a standard guitar with the option of having 1 amp or 2 amps. That's what I'd go for anyway. The music win facial expressions. Yeah, well, I just don't really watch any of his videos. I watch some, but I'm not a regular viewer by any means. But it's just, I suppose it's personal taste. I'm sure some people hate me too. In fact, no, I know some people hate me too. So I'm posting the same thing over and over again. I know a lot of YouTubers do that though, because if it's your career, it's hard to break the chain of one video was successful, so I need to make 10 of them because then now that's my paycheck. So I can understand why YouTubers do that. I don't do that currently, but I can understand why he does. It's not something that I particularly like as a viewer though, so again, taste. Uh Robert Baker is far more genuine. I was watching Robert Baker years ago, back when he had his white Charvel, and I liked how his playing is really good too. So he I like Robert. I don't watch too many of his videos because they're lessons, and I generally don't have time to do the lessons. But I've seen some of the videos. Um, Plague Scythe Studios. He knows his stuff. I'll have a look. Stevie T is an awesome player. Do you know of him? Yes, I do know of him. He's a fantastic player. We'll leave it at that though. Though the Robert Baker is so nice. I reckon one day he'll be in the news after they. Don't be mean about Robert. He doesn't deserve anything. He's too nice to be made fun of. Just to be clear, I think the name is stupid. I don't hate the guy in there. Yeah, well, music is Win is very. It's a name from like the early 2000s, isn't it? Something is Win, but he probably made the channel then, didn't he? I don't know. I don't know. I just think there's a lot of undeserved hate for the guy. I think it could be if you've got dislike for certain people, it could be used far better elsewhere. I run my Marshall 2020 amp, which is stereo, into a Marshall stereo cab. Kid's fantastic. Oh yeah, yeah. Like I do a wet dry. I have this Victory, and then I've got a Victory over there. And I do a wet dry because I supported Chris Holmes from Wasp on 2 shows, and it was such a great experience for as a guitar player, because when he sound check, so we'd sound check, and then he would, and the difference, like, because we were allowed to turn up really loud because he was turning up really loud. So we were allowed to turn up louder than normal, probably to excessive volumes, but rock and roll. We all use hearing protection, so it's okay. But what he did was he had like 2 Black Star heads and two 412 cabs, and when he hit the chord, it was like, whoa! It was so thick, and it was way better than any of our sounds. So I was asking him what he was doing, and he explained in detail. He was very nice, and he was wet. He had a wet dry, and with a delay, a modulated delay that was really really short on one amp and nothing on the other, and it made the whole room shake. How thick the tone was. So I'm trying to replicate that really, and I've got it pretty close. Like, he was using an old rack unit from the 80s to do it, but my version is slightly more modern, but it gets close. Uh, Single lead into the output of a Lucille that behaves as a normal mono. Yeah, I know that like some of the Kiesels could do that, but I really don't know much about wiring when it comes to that stuff. Um, the Do, I have never seen his stuff. Peter Green had his out of phase stuff, so I don't know. I really don't know about wiring. The Billy Sheehan bass thing is more because the split frequencies. Yeah, he's got his really low stuff and then his really really high stuff for his squeals. Your spelling is bad today. My spelling is bad every day. If Stevie is an immense guitar player. Thing is, he could be like the next Eddie Van Halen when it comes to influencing kids to play. He isn't doing that though. Leon Todd. Where's the name of him? I know the name. Leon Todd. Oh, the Australian guy. Yeah, yeah. Dumble amps. Dumble amps. Dumb money. You met Music Is Win in Nashville. He was super polite to you. That was actually a thing, right? That a lot of people used in the Chapman thing. How dare you say anything about Chapman? I met him at that thing and he was nice to me. I'd view people on their actions as well as just being like most people are generally not just going to be openly rude to everyone they meet. They're probably going to be fairly polite just as a general rule because everyone kind of is for the most part, or at least hopefully is. But yeah, in the case of Music Is Win, I don't have a problem with him. I have problems with others, but I don't have a problem with him. Can everyone 20 watts? Anymore, or you will not get a gig. Well, yeah, it depends on what venue you're playing, I suppose. What the sound guy will let you do. Ariana Grande's manager calls. They need a guitarist for her UK tour. Do you sell your soul and say yes, or do you get out of there and hug your Jackson? I say yes, because it's not selling your soul, because by that standard, Nuno Bettencourt sold his soul to play for Rihanna. What that is getting a massive paycheck to go on tour and just have roadies carry as many racks of gear as you. Oh, I need like at least 2 stacks for the show. Ariana's music is so complex; it really needs 2 stacks and 8 guitars. I need to change guitar per song. Why not? I'd do it. Who else is on the exposed list? That's it's a confidential list, Richie. I'm afraid. It's I don't disclose that information because it has to be a surprise. Have you been recognized for your YouTube? No, I haven't. At the time, I was worried about it though, like very worried, because it was a 50-50 chance that if I was recognized, it wouldn't be, hey, I liked your video. It would be quite the opposite. So, no, but I wasn't recognized by anyone. But I know for a fact that there are some people in the, we'll call it, Dublin music scene who are openly wanting me They don't want me in a good position because of that video that I made. Put it that way. Which makes you wonder about how important that video was. Do I like 7 and 8 string guitars or prefer drop tunes? Right, so Walker, we tune to D standard, so it's a full step down. But I do have a 7 string. Well, I have 2 7 strings. And I don't really use them because I could use when I watch like Whitesnake 1990 with Steve Vai. He had he had to use the 7 string because he had to promote it because it was released in 1990. So when he was playing his, I don't know how he was doing it because he was not hitting the B string. I can't play without doing that. I naturally, if you're hitting a chord and you want to hit the E string, I do like that, and it's gonna hit the B string, and it's gonna sound, even when you mute it, it's gonna sound dodgy. So I just can't do it. What I could do is I could maybe like put the E string on top and then have a high A string instead. But then I'm thinking, well, what's the point of even having a 7 string? So 8 strings sound too flubby to me. Like you can get away clean, but once you put distortion on it, it isn't for me. Best metal singer from the 80s. Ooh, maybe. See, Jeff Tate was good. Maybe Sebastian Bach. Maybe, I don't know. Because Sebastian Bach can't sing anymore. Jeff Tate can. Well, no, actually, no, hang on. Sebastian Bach can't sing as high as he could. It's not like Don Dokken, who actually can't sing anymore. But maybe from that time, probably Sebastian Bach or Jeff Tate. Views on Warren DeMartini. Oh yeah, he's great. Well, Mr. Way Cool Jr. himself. Fantastic player. The guy from Crimson Glory, Mark Jordan, the Transcendental, cool. Yeah, Jeff Tate from Queensrÿche. You're answering it too. I really I expected better of the Dublin music scene. Sure, there's only 12 of us total to fill out 80 different bands. You'd think we'd be friendlier. You'd think so, but no. Because again, it's musicians hate each other. Like, as much as it's pretended that, oh yeah, we're all friends and everything, it's never been the case in my experience. It's always, the usual. It's probably everywhere though. It's, the great set, man, and then it's after it's there's never, it was never like, there are some really nice people, but there's a lot of not so nice people. Steel Panther, yes or no? Used to be yes, now it's no. Well, now it's out for the jury. I'd love to support them. So, no, but that their earlier stuff was really, really good. Their new stuff, it just didn't really do it for me. You kind of look like Sebastian Bach. I remember you. Steel Panther, Animal Warrant improvisal of musically lame, shallow, misogynist. The world needs bands like Soundgarden. No. Steel Panther at least made it more popular for the best type of music to come back because it was talented guitar players. The 80s was the important part of guitar playing. Grunge was not good, and I will openly say that. Alice in Chains was good though. Yeah, I find difficult to become friends with another musician. I've wanted that. I consider myself blessed. Because there's so many opinions for musicians. Musicians are very opinionated in general, so it's hard to because you'll always have conflicting opinions, and it depends on how many opinions you have that conflict. Guitar players are so competitive. Yes, Guitarist dude, you shred behind your back, dude sucks. Yes, it's without a doubt that, and it's kind of sad that it's like that, but it is. So, from my teenage years, I know it's difficult to think of any musicians that I've stayed friends with as a result of knowing each other from Fibbers. Fibbers. When's the second Walker CD out? Richie, we've got half of it recorded and then the world ended. So I don't know when it's legally okay to go back into rehearsals and the recording studio. I will have it recorded. So I really don't know because no one knows. Should Axel jack it in? Heard some live footage of Guns N' Roses. Yeah, but there's. I think he was really good when he was with AC/DC. Controversial opinion, but he sounded good. So I don't know if he. I've heard some bad live stuff and I've heard some good live stuff. If it's a 50-50 thing, maybe just do 50% less shows. Being in a metal band end up like a sport. Once you start keeping score, people get busy. Yeah, well, every band is, and that was like that pretty much forever though, because it's always that local band got a bigger gig. How do we get the bigger gig? That's always been that way, unfortunately. But it's always been competitive, and that probably, that band has a bigger and better show. We have to get a bigger and better show. We have to up our game here. So maybe it's upping the stuff for viewers and listeners, but it's between musicians, it's not great. Pearl Jam are awesome. They're okay. 80s mostly sucked musically and lyrically, though. We're going to have to agree to very much disagree on that one, Richard. Very much disagree. No, director first. I was like, oh, Bill Steer from Carcass. That's been said a few times. I wonder. I would assume the main thing with musicians not being friends is the ego difference. Is I'll admit I love me. Yeah, there is ego. Some people have it when it's when there's definitely nothing to back it up. That's the main issue. Soundgarden was good. Alice in Chains, Smashing Pumpkins were good in the grunge movement. Yeah, it's okay. I don't like grunge. Anything Nirvana is terrible, right? Just no. None of that, please. Well, Axl in '87 was on a concoction of whatever he could get his hands on, so that was probably why he was awful then. Not sure if you talked about this already, but I thought the video, that guy we should not. Oh, Mr. C was very well done. No doubt I put a lot of time in. All right, do you know how much time I put in on that? The next audio audit, right? Just so everyone knows, was actually going to be the first audio audit. So we've been working on them for a while, but I have had and have a list, and whether I had 2 subscribers or 2,000 or whatever I'm at now, 5,000 or something, 6,000, whatever I have, I'm finishing the list. So it didn't really matter. But when I did that video, the plans for the Chapman video, I started collecting evidence and data in January of 2019. And I was working on that, and then I took a little break. I took about 2 months break to do the work on the Fricker video. That was the quickest I'd ever done one. That was the first audio audit, and it was 2 months work on that video alone. And then once I had done that, I resumed work on the Chapman video, and that took another few months. See, the thing about that, right, is he could have gotten away with a lot more than he ended up doing because he ran his mouth. The the GoFundMe thing for the birthday present, he could have really got away with that. And how he could have is I took screenshots And then once the video went up, like 2 days after, before he did his video, that disappeared. So I took screenshots of it in January when I was researching it, and then when I checked it again when I was making the video in like November, I checked it again, and they had removed all the information from it, but it was still present as a thing. Then when I put up my video, it disappeared entirely. Like it was gone after a day or maybe two of my video being live, and then on like the fourth day he uploaded his truth, play authentic, and that is he could have got away with that, because I was actually thinking, oh no, now he's gonna claim that I made up that entire thing. I'm gonna have to get in touch with GoFundMe and check that it was actually, like, get proof that it was real. So yes, that took a lot of work to do. I've lost my place in the chat. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm not friends with tons of musicians and bands, but I am friends with a shit ton of dudes who run solo black metal projects from their bedrooms. That's the black metal scene is going to explode now with quarantine. Controversial opinion: best Guns N' Roses solo was "There is a Time No Slash in Sight." Fight me. I don't know the song. You have the same hair as Bill Steer. Yes, I do. If you have a favorite guitar player, who would it be? Mine is Paul Gilbert. Mine too. Paul Gilbert, Mr. PG, he is the best, and he is the guy who made me want to play really, really, really fast. Do you like Buckethead? Yes, he's great. Any opinion on CKY? I've never heard them. I know I've heard of them, but I've never heard them. What made you want to do these types of videos? The fact that no one else was doing them and the stuff that the people were doing was annoying me. That was one thing, and then the influence of it was the iDubbbz Content Cop and the Nerd City videos that he was doing. I thought that was entertaining. I thought it was, like, not only did it get results, but it was entertaining, and that's why the video is, like, it's got comedic relief and everything in it, because if it's entertaining, people will watch it. It's like a 36-minute video of a rant will not be watched. But then again, right after the Chapman My Truth video, the standard viewing time, which was like, it was like 15 minutes. People were watching half of the video, which is better than none, but it's not great, because at the end, the very end, I'm still proud of this. The whole "I'm just a hater" and lift up the two Chapmans, that was golden. Still proud of that. But no, only half the viewers got to watch that. But then after the My Truth video, the average viewing time went down to under 3 minutes. So it was just enough time. They'd watch like the first minute and a half, pause the video, and go down to tell me some things that were not great. But yeah. You can't deny that Chris Cornell could sing. Most of the 80s Hairspray. Most of them. Well, if you're talking about Motley Crue, like, Axl Rose has a massive vocal register though, so he could go lower and higher. Motley Crue, I'll give you that one. Yeah, especially now. Growl, no, Growl. Well, Growl's okay. Yeah, he's. I can't really view drummers. I personally can't really. As long as they stay in time, I don't have an opinion. I don't feel that I'm very qualified to talk about any drummers. One of the best videos, Mr. C, that I've ever seen to date. On the edge of my seat. Thank you, Ray. You can tell when someone's lying when they say "my truth." No such thing as your truth. Yeah. Well, you can also tell when they're lying when they're massively, like, every time they tell a lie, they stroke their beard and they touch their nose and kind of a tell. Kind of want to play poker with him. Hello from Black Rock. Hello. How's lockdown for you, Billy? Now we want to mention Hydubs. He released a video like 10 minutes before I went live. I watched half of it. Seriously, check out the guitar work on There Was a Time. Guns N' Roses Buckethead is on it. Buckethead is great. Like there's no denying that Buckethead is great. It's weird how many albums he puts out though, like in so much quick succession. His guitars are cool though. To be fair, I think Rob acknowledged in his apology video that My Truth title, as well as the content, was a massive mistake. Oh yeah, but it was a massive mistake financially for him. Of course it was a massive mistake. Funny enough, the wording that he used, he says it was something like, it's been a while since I watched it, but it was something like there's still 3 things that hold true. I love my family, I love my wife, I love my kids, and I love music. Well, yeah, but thank you for acknowledging that everything else was a lie. So yeah, he acknowledged it, but he kind of had to. It's interesting what they're doing now as well. With the whole, they're selling directly and QCing the guitars. Do an audio audit on Greta Thunberg. Nah, I just don't care enough to do one of that. Audio audits are music driven. What other amps do you play, KDH? We see the Victory. The Victories are the main. I've got 2 of them. So this Marshall is just here. I don't use it. But it's on a Marshall. Okay, hang on. It's on a 412. And then I'm sitting on a Zilla 212. So 1 Victory goes in through the Zilla, 1 Victory goes through the 412. I have a Blackstar Series 1200 that I don't use because it's very heavy. And again, the whole point of the Victories was highest power amp in the smallest chassis you can get. Because, like, I'll show you. Right, so 2 channels and 50 watts. This is, it weighs something, like but you can lift it with 1 hand. So it's better than any massive Marshall. But then again, you can probably, it's a 50 watt, but you could do a gig with a 20 watt. So if you had like a Friedman Runt, which would probably be the same size, or maybe some of the Marshall, the small Marshalls that they've released, like the Silver Jubilee head and the small JCM 800, that actually sounds like it could be very cool. But I haven't played any of them. I agree on the vested interest. Daily Driver is what? The background wall. Yes. So that was it was supposed to be, so let's see if you can see KDH, but like in the VH, the Van Halen style, and like it's not obvious that I've written KDH on the wall. Like there's small lines and everything as well. You kind of have to look for it, but I think it's cool. What do Americans think about Ireland? That is total bullshit, question mark? Yes. Big Garrett is yourself. No one actually sounds like that. First of all, there is no pot of gold. What else? What else do you even think about Ireland? Oh yeah, it's not all fields. Oh yeah, Rob brought all the attention to himself because again, his ego couldn't take any hit. Like put it again into perspective, Glenn Fricker, like the angriest guy on YouTube, goes, yeah, you know, there's some certain things that I need to look at. I need to adjust. How can I do better? Like he asked me, what do you think I should do, right? And I said, well, you could do this and this because again, the videos that I did were on people that I was fans of. I learned how to mic a cab from Glenn. It was his disclosure of things, and we talked about that, and he has done full disclosures ever since. So that's the thing about there's not a reason to re-upload that video because he's fixed the issues. It's out of date now. The Streisand effect. No, he didn't. Not that day. He would have got away with it because again, like it was the people watched 3 minutes of my video. Rob's telling the truth. Remember the graph thing that he showed? Absolute bullshit. But he would have got away with it. He would have got away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids, Dovey Das and Mike Become the Night. Without those videos, I would have been done. I would have quit YouTube. So I am very thankful for those guys. Do your neighbors love or hate you from all the playing you do? A lot of it I don't plug in for. For the most part, I just play acoustically. Like, well, not with an acoustic, but you know, it's that. So it's nothing really. And I don't play loud. Like the volume is generally set pretty low. Are all your audio videos on YouTube based, or are there other people on your list, professional musicians? I want to do one on Gibson guitars, but the next one is they're pretty much all YouTube based because like professional touring musicians don't do a lot that I can like investigate in. YouTubers unwittingly is the word, maybe. They put a lot of information out there that if you can collect it all, you can pretty much tell if they're doing good things or bad things. And I know a lot that are doing some bad things. It's have you tried a Fender Bass Breaker? No, I haven't. Oh, to be fair, some do. Is that about the Irish accent? Well, yeah, like not to the extent of like what the American movies portray. Nowhere near. And plus, there's like in every country, there's like 60 or 70 different accents. So, my Dublin-born grandmother got out of Ireland in her 30s and inspired her. It was that it was, but no, it's not. Rob is a classic case of narcissistic personality disorder. Textbook. Called it years ago, unsubbed when Andertons went independent. I mean, yeah, but it probably is. And if that's the case, I do kind of feel sorry for him because it's a mental thing where it's you can't be wrong, and if you are, that's a big issue for them mentally. So they think that the Scottish accent, but it's the same thing anywhere though. There's different accents. So the best thing to say to any American is like, well, does the Boston accent sound anywhere close to a Texan accent? No. Then a Dublin accent is not going to sound the same as a Cork accent or a Galway accent. It's going to be different, or even just a South Dublin or a North Dublin accent. You only feel sorry for those with but narcissistic personality disorder when they seek help and acknowledge their condition. Yeah, but isn't the problem that they can't acknowledge it? So I kind of feel sorry for them if that's the case. I never liked him. Something always rubbed me the wrong way about. My gut feeling was on point. Yeah, it seems a lot of people thought that too. The general rule is if you think it, someone else does too. So it's I wasn't expecting to get anywhere as close as big as it did. It went way too big, and that was all because of him. It had a whopping 10,000 views before his video. After his video, within 2 days, it was at 45,000. I pulled the video, maybe was it second day or third day? I don't know. And then when I uploaded it again after, when it was safe enough to do so, I kind of had to upload it again. Or not upload it again, but to unprivate it. Because no one had, like, there were clips of it, of the original, but no one could see, like, the full thing. So I kind of had to, so people could base their own opinions on it. People are still commenting on it, and they probably still will, but how many subs did it earn or lose you? When I uploaded it, I had 223 subs. Now I've got 6,500, 600, something like that. So it gained me quite a few. I didn't think it would, though. That's the thing. If he didn't upload, if he didn't do his My Truth thing, play authentic, if he didn't upload that, no one would have ever seen the video. So nothing would ever really cause me to stop watching someone unless they did move. But since your video, I don't feel at all compelled to even check his or Anderton's page. I don't think Anderton's have done anything, though. Like, they didn't back him at all during that whole thing. Now, when he did his apology video, they commented on it, and oh, we're glad, can't wait to see you soon. But that's because, well, he had done his apology, and it wasn't a great apology by any means, but it was way better than the My Truth or the video that he uploaded on the day, on the evening that after the Dovidas video went live. It was him walking in the dark saying that he loved everyone, and my favorite video on my channel ever is the PewDiePie reacts to online power. That is my favorite video ever because it couldn't have been more perfect. It was just the editing in it. And when I did that, some people, oh, it's obvious he's only doing it for views. See, look, he's used PewDiePie's name. What no one realizes is the guys who were watching those videos are all 40 plus. If I had said PewDiePie reacts to Rob Chapman, it would have been 40,000 views, no problem. I deliberately didn't use his name. I called it reacts to online power because I didn't want to give him the satisfaction of using his name because he's that egotistical. But yes, it is my favorite video. Andertons are cool. Yeah, Pete's great. It's not that Andertons have done anything at all. Just by association, I view them being the same. I wouldn't tar them with the same brush, really. Like people were. I wouldn't. Danish Pete's great and all that. Lee seems like a decent guy. So my quarrel was with Rob. It wasn't with everyone. Was how dare you think about the people that it affects? But by that same standard, you can't talk about anybody, no matter, because everyone's got a family, everybody's got pets, everybody's got everything else. So, but yeah, Andertons, they seem fine. I don't have a problem with them. You have to remember that Lee Anderton is co-owner of Chapman Guitars. It's not 50%, it's 40%. So there's three owners. It's Rob who owns 40%, Lee who owns 40%, Matt who owns 10, I think. Or 20, sorry. Bad at maths. So it's not, I'm pretty sure he's just a silent partner in it though, as far as I know. He kind of sits back and just gets the check at the end. He does his part with Andertons more so. It's more of a side project for him. Andertons are cool, but their gear reviews always seemed a little overlong. 45 minutes to demo an amp when you realistically have to demo it in person anyway. Well, if you, I don't know. Well, if you're demoing an amp in like in full detail, like maybe it could justify half an hour, 40 minutes, because I don't do that just because I don't demo for jazz and blues and stuff because half the stuff I'm using, like no one's gonna pull out a Rhodes with an EMG and go, oh yes, it's perfect for some smooth jazz. So I'm gonna play metal, rhythm, and lead. But with an amp, I could understand maybe 4 channels, a clean, a crunch. What does it sound like with an overdrive? So I could understand why it might take a little while. Um, just moved back to GAC in Brighton. Didn't he leave Anderton's because of the place that he lived in? He had like a commute or something. I don't think it was like a big breakup. But then again, we don't know. But it's actually a real shame about the Guitar Bros demo channel that got hacked like a day or two ago. I think people are saying to sub to his new channel, which you probably should. Joe Matt Hornby is director of Chapman Guitar and his track record of treating various people poorly, including the Tone King. Well, if you if you want to see something funny with Chapman and Matt Hornby, YouTube Rob Chapman Pocket Management, and I'll leave it at that. It's 50% now, according to Companies House, and he has 50% worth of voting rights. It must have changed recently. I haven't checked Companies House. I only checked Companies House before, like while I was making the video. Not to beat a dead horse, have you listened to the new Rabia new musical instrumental album? I don't really listen to instrumental albums, to be honest. Like as mainstream as it goes, I'd listen to Passion and Warfare or maybe Cacophony from Becker and Friedman. I don't really listen to instrumental stuff. I listen to like vocal stuff. Um, Directors don't necessarily own a part of the company. Okay. Massive long videos are easy to monetize for some reason. Well, not really. If you hit 10 minutes, you can. The whole monetization is if it's under 10 minutes, you get an ad at the start and an ad at the end. If it's over 10 minutes, then you can place ads throughout, and you can place up to 10, I think. So you can place more ads, but if they litter the 45-minute video with 45 ads, no one would watch it. So they're not really making anything more off a 45-minute video because watch time is also catered in, and if no one's actually watching the full 45 minutes, they're not gonna make any money off that. The unlimited power went to his head a bit. Yes, it did. Unlimited power. Did Walker get any negative fallout from the videos you made? No, because no one knew about Walker, and that was intentional. That was another thing. Everyone, you only did it for views. You only did it to boost things or whatever. If I did, I'd be absolutely plugging the songs throughout the audio audits, and I haven't done that, and I'm not going to do that because it's not about that. So no one knew about Walker. This is the first time KDH, as it were, has said anything about Walker. What are your favorite albums ever? One of mine has to be Bringing Rock Back. Oh, thanks. Favorite albums. Motorizer by Motorhead. That's good. You can listen to Surfing with an Alien. I'll listen to some Satch songs. I wouldn't listen to like the full album though. Oh yeah, remember? It was a very size video. I have to say, Joe, very size. Check the kids' channels. Like those vids are getting millions of views and are filled with ads. I have toddlers and they're on repeat. But yeah, but now they were making millions. They're not anymore because the targeting advertising on kids' videos has been removed. So it's like it has to be. It's just general advertising, so it's they're making about 70% less than they were. Not to say that people weren't or aren't already millionaires because of that. What does the D stand for? That's my middle name. KDH. Do metal versions of nursery rhymes? That's where the money is. No, because I'd hate that. Get out of my yard, Paul Gilbert. I preferred Mr. Big with Paul Gilbert stuff. Oh, 80s singers who were amazing. Eric Martin, that's another one. That's one of the things I like about your videos. Not that there's anything wrong with self-promotion, but your content seems to be about the content and not a thinly commercials. The thing is, if ever to do a commercial, which is likely not because I'm kind of public enemy number one in the guitar scene currently. Someone had to do it. But if I was to do it, thing is, you're like there are people like Henning Pauly who make their living from doing it, but they're open about it. And also, he's done videos where even when he's been paid and he's in front of company reps, he's said some things pretty ballsy to do it. So I like Henning, and that's what I would be doing. It's the company is paying for the product placement, not the opinion. So that's how I would be doing it. But yeah, that's the way it should be done anyway. But Dublin, well, slightly outside of Dublin. If you know the Dovey Das video, it was the town in which I lived in was stated. Yes, I worked out that it was your middle initial. I was curious as what your middle name is. Nah, I'll let everyone guess. to it has to be a little bit of mystery in there. Eddie Van Halen is a one-trick pony. Discuss. Yes, but he's a one-trick pony at writing good songs. So, have you found the shallow? Oh, that's a bit harsh, Joe. Come on, that's a bit. That's a bit. Yes, the middle name is Danger. Chuckles, I'm in danger. Ever listen to Mike Dawes? Yes. Mike Dawes was the influence for doing that. I learned how to play Boogie Shred, do. I've forgotten how to play it, but I did know at one point. He's very cool. I'm probably gonna log off soon. So if anyone's got anything else, Neil Young, yes or no? Well, I've never really listened to him, so no, currently. This was a fun live stream though, so if anyone wants to do, I think the next one we'll set up. I had it set up today, but we didn't use it. But we're gonna do Skype calls, so it's not gonna be like a face to face. Your face isn't gonna be on the screen or anything. It's just gonna be audio. So I'll answer your call and you can ask a question or whatever. It's mainly for the people who don't like what I've done, so that maybe we could debate certain things, or even if you agree on certain parts or disagree on other things. I think that would be a fun and cool thing to do. The last time I had anything to do with anyone called Hughes, it was a girl at school when I was 10 to 12. It was my first serious crush. Okay then. All right. If you could make a band with 4 people, who would those 4 people be? Well, I'm pretty happy with the 3 other people in my 4-person band at the moment. For the live stream, yeah, it was fun. Needs more notice next time. I arrived late by chance. I don't know how to publicize it. Like I did an Instagram story or 2 Instagram stories, and I did a thing, YouTube community post. So I don't really know how to publicize it any better. Maybe Facebook post, but no one's on Facebook. Like I've got like 26 likes. Do the metal version of Rockin' the Free World. Chris Holmes did that live when I was supporting him, and it was great because it's such a thick sound. Birds are fruits because they grow in trees. Prove me wrong. I can't prove you wrong. If you could only have one book and one movie and one CD, what would you choose? One book. Don't know. One movie. I'd go for a series. It would be The Downfall of Rob Chapman. And what CD? What CD? There's so many good CDs. Mr. Big, Lean Into It. Yes, those are the boys. Facebook, you don't like Facebook? Yeah. I saw through your YouTube post, so probably best chance seeing a notification next time. Yeah, I might do like a little thing if I can figure it out. Read Metal Nursery Rhymes. The wheels on the bus go round and round. I'm pretty sure he's done that. Saw the Strat upgrade vid. Love the black with red strats. Yes, it was nice to actually make it a guitar that I'd be happy to play with. It's heavy though. Still the same lineup in your band? Yes. If if the world is still a thing by the time this whole pandemic is over. I would have Lord of the Flies, interesting, and Ziggy Stardust. Are CDs still a thing in terms of sale? Yes. But it has to be it depends on the age of your audience. If your audience are 20s or younger, probably not. But 35 plus maybe, especially 40 anyway. From 40 onwards, you are selling CDs. No problem at all there. The death of CDs has been greatly exaggerated. Yeah, it has. Like, yeah, chain shops are not gonna stay open like HMV and everything, but it's kind of like chain shops of guitar stuff too. The guitar is dead because Guitar Center are dying. No, it's just poor business decisions. The CDs are still selling well, or well enough for me. Although not now because nobody can ship anything, but Sense of books and DVDs. Yeah, books are still active. I think DVDs might go down though. I don't know. You don't see very many of them anymore, like for sale. What's your top 3? That's gone. Guitar isn't dead, but I wish cheap, no-name Chinese guitars would die. Well, it's they serve a purpose, and that purpose is to get people playing. Like they might be bad, but some of them will be okay, surely. Like I've played no-name cheap guitars, and I've played Squiers, like starter pack Squiers, and the no-name cheap ones were better than the Squiers. So they serve a function into getting people to play, and that's important if it's to continue. Top favorite 3 guitars. Ooh, good one. Okay, so it would be the Ormsby. It would be the TriStar. And at the moment, like the third, it kind of varies. But at the moment, it's the Jackson Dinky, the red one, which is the next video that I'll be uploading, is gonna be on that. Just because of the sustainer, it's really fun to use. Real books are more, yeah. Bought a cheap Chinese telly copy from local retailer. Yeah, like some of them are great, some of them are really bad. Just depends. Yeah, they never will though. They'll never kill Western makers because people like you've got certain people who are diehard about a brand. So that'll continue. No, I highly doubt that I'll keep buying them and in 10 years that's all you'll have because you cheap guitars, like as you said, they're cheap Chinese guitars. They are cheap. So yeah, you can't buy a Western made guitar for the same price. That's just not a thing. But I don't know anyone who's paying, 7, 8, 9, 10, or what, 8, 900 or whatever for anything. Mainly it's Korea or Indonesia, and then it's like owned, or the designs are made by a Western company. So it's not. Would you consider doing hair care videos? Or like, no. Always goes a mess split ends before it gets near you. You trim it. You need to actually just trim it and wash it. Standard stuff. Ever do that? Like throw your guitar over the shoulder? And what are the worst guitar cliche moves? The kick hair swinging. I'm not gonna ever throw the guitar over my shoulder because how many guitar fail videos are there that you've seen? They all contain it flies off the strap or it hits someone in the head or something stupid. So no, I'm not gonna do that. I don't know. I think if any guitar move is done right, they all look cool. But that's just me. Under 20s have no brand loyalty. That's not true. Because you're forgetting that they live on the internet and they're influenced by people who say nothing better than a Gibson. So it's advertising. And Gibson are heavily advertising, even with their whole stupid authentic stuff and will sue everybody thing. They're heavily advertising as play authentic, play Gibson, right? And that won't fool some people, but that hasn't fooled a lot of people, but it'll fool especially the under 20s. And even that's not like Ibanez are getting the under 20s because they've got younger bands like Polyphia or something like that. They do have brand loyalty. Unfortunately, I don't think that's a thing. It shouldn't be a thing. It should be what's good. Does it remain good? Okay, it's gone bad. Let's get something else in. Companies like Glary, no one's actually buying Glary's. Glary are just doing the standard YouTube advertising. They're going to any channel and saying, would you like a free guitar in exchange for a video? And for the bigger ones, they're paying them, $100 whatever dollars for it. And it might influence some people, but it's not influencing anybody. Nowhere near enough to compete or steal business from anybody. Because Glary guitars are like, what, $50? No brand name can produce a guitar for $50. So it's not happening. What was the first song you wrote? First song I wrote was Time to Party. I wrote it in a school library. I wrote the lyrics in a school library anyway. Or it was Rock Rule the World from another band. I wrote the riff to that. What are some boutique Chinese makers making gorgeous custom shirts? Okay. There are some boutique. Oh, if you're talking about 10S, I don't know. Eastman. Are Eastman Chinese? I didn't know that. But again, I don't think they're competing strongly with anyone. Chris Novoselic had the best fail. I haven't seen it. What are your thoughts on Paul Stanley's upside down Ibanez? Oh, he went from Washburn to Ibanez. I think that was cool though. I like him from his BC Riches from what it was 1985, wasn't it, when they weren't wearing any makeup. I think that was cool. Gibson advertising is aimed at 40 to 65. Yeah, they're not under 20s. Well, they tried a little bit. They did try a little bit with the modern guitar. That was not the Les Paul Modern was not aimed at the diehard Gibson fans. How can your first song be so? It's just about listening. I learned to write songs from listening to good songs. It's learning where a chorus should go here. This should be the intro. This should be and then you piece it all together. I used to watch a lot of Gear Gods and Glenn, and I don't know why. Always sounds to me like they hate each other because really passive aggressive. No, they don't hate each other. Nah, that's on camera thing. Most YouTubers that I know of all have on camera personalities, and then they have off camera personalities. Like I'm not wearing sunglasses. I only do that for audio audits though, and just because it annoys so many people as well. That's the best part. Fender doing much better targeting younger demographic. Yes. So even then, like Fender are not worried about anybody. Fender don't have any competition in the grand scheme of things. Well, there's one well-known musical instrument retailer in Warwickshire, Richie's Guitars, also on YouTube under the same name, who dumped Gibson and now sells Eastman. Richard's Guitars is interesting. He doesn't like Fender. He doesn't like any big brands though. So it's not really. It comes down to the buyer as well. Like if you're spending anything near Gibson money, you're not going to be persuaded by one guy in a shop unless the guitar itself is very good. Then you will be like, and then the debate is, well, oh, but they're Chinese, which is I shouldn't really factor in. Is it good or is it bad? Unless it's like a direct, absolute 100% copy ripoff. But it's likely that they're not. But I don't know exactly what you're referring to. Poison's more cheesy than anyone. Nothing but a good time. Although I will give you their album with Richie Kotzen, Native Tongue. That wasn't cheesy at all. That's fantastic. The Andertons East Coast thing. I have a feeling, this is just theories, but I have a feeling that that's probably closely related to Andertons themselves. And it's not it's the cheaper version of Chapman kind of thing. But that's just my theory. He's been a big champion of Gordon Smith guitars. I just don't get the appeal of them visually. Well, they're English made, aren't they? They're owned by Blackstar. So you just don't get the appeal of them visually. They're kind of like Les Paul Juniors, aren't they? Like they've got the same style pickguard and everything. So if you like those guitars, I suppose it would make sense. Flat top Les Pauls don't really do it for me, though. Les Pauls in general don't really do it for me. Richie Kotzen. Well, Richie Kotzen thought everyone. No. Sorry, Joe Satch thought everyone, but Richie Kotzen is amazing. Ace from Kiss or Slash is better than Ace Frehley, I think. Anyway, but that's just me. And Ace hasn't played in Kiss in years anyway, so. Okay, so I think that'll do it, fellas. Thank you for tuning in for the live stream. We might do another one soon. What day is it? Today's Saturday, so let's maybe do one. I don't know. I'll post about it in the YouTube community section. I'll post about it on Facebook. I'll post about it on Instagram. I'll post about it. I have a Twitter? I have a Twitter. I don't use Twitter. Well, I'll post about it on Twitter just for you Twitterers. All right. So I'll just read these questions and then the latest East Coast Acoustic is a carbon copy of the Taylor Mini, so it's obvious. What do you think? Gordon Smith guitars are for 70-year-old men stunned they're going for. They were old in 1990. They're owned by Blackstar now, so that's probably what's keeping them going. East Coast is just Andertons and a Chinese factory. I don't think they're sold anywhere else. Unless they're part of guitar deal. I don't know too much, but it seems a little unusual. All right. See you guys soon. Bye bye.